Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, we're gonna talk about the things that I do to take care of my anger. If you're angry and you don't know what to do with it, hang on tight and check this out.
Round 4 ways, I play no games, all me, no blame, on the way.
Guys, what's going on? This is Pete. Thank you so much for coming out. Today we're gonna talk about anger. Right? What is it? How do I take care of it? What's the best thing to do? And the best thing that I do, I'm gonna save for last, because I have to make sure that I tell you a little bit more about what anger is. This is really quick. What I do, or what I used to do, what I presently do when I get super angry, and then what's gonna really resolve the problem. I think that's the most important thing. So make sure you guys check it out at the end. You could skip to the next chapter and or just hang out and listen to the video. I'll be real quick. So what is anger? To me, anger is just, it's never one emotion. Anger is something created by another emotion or multiple emotions. Anger doesn't happen just like, oh, I'm angry. No, it's usually, I'm really sad. I'm really sad and I'm sick of it. I'm really sad and I'm sick of being sad, so I don't know what else to do. So now I'm sad, but I don't know who else to talk to, so now I'm getting angry. You know, that's the way anger goes. Or like, oh man, I'm really overwhelmed. I don't know, there's so many things that I have to do. I have to do this and I have to do that. How am I ever gonna make it in life? I'm insufficient. I'm not worth anything. I don't know what else to do. What do I do with all this shit? Just get fucking do it, boosh. And that's what anger becomes. It becomes from a bunch of different thoughts or emotions that you kind of think about all the time, or what they would call ruminate on in your mind. You know, it's over and over and over again where you just can't control it anymore, and it gives you this energy, this big, intense energy that we don't know what to do about it. But what I want to talk about are the things that I used to do. What I used to do is something I would not suggest that you do, but if you do presently feel like this is you and I'm talking about you, make sure to go talk to someone. And I want you to know, guys, there's nothing wrong with talking to someone. Someone that will listen, and you know, like a therapist. You can go to the doctor, you can go see a counselor, you can talk to your best friend, but sometimes you gotta talk to someone rather than bottling it up inside. A parent, a spouse, a boyfriend, girlfriend, but make sure you talk to someone, because sometimes, you know, when you're here, you don't know how to get out. So I'm gonna tell you the first thing that I used to do, which is not really a great choice. I would self-harm myself. These are the things that I would used to do, and sometimes I still want to do it. You know, I was very addicted to that feeling, the way it made me feel, the way it made me feel happy almost. It made me feel relieved, because I really didn't know what to do with this energy that I had. So I was just addicted to this feeling. You know, because it felt good. It felt good to be able to, oh man, this is how I control it. This is how I take care of my anger. This is working for me. You know what it wasn't? It was not. It was just manifesting a new habit that wasn't really a good one, because down the line, it's gonna lead to something different, maybe something a little worse and a little bit more deadly than the things that I was doing inside the bathroom. Now, the hardest part was like no one saw it. Right? Everyone thinks I'm like a happy-go-lucky guy, like I said, but inside the closet, inside the bathroom, I'm crying, I'm beating myself up, I'm pulverizing myself, trying to make myself bleed, and then when I want to, that's when I would just cut, just to get that feeling of like calmness. It just made me feel calm. And I don't think that's a good thing for us to go through. And like I said in the beginning, if this sounds like you, please seek some help. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. I just don't want it to lead to something worse. That's it, okay? So please take that as I would say, a disclaimer. If this is you and this sounds like you, go talk to somebody. I don't care who it is. Try to find someone that's gonna help you manage that emotion a little bit better, so for the future, you could feel more like yourself, because you're not anymore. It's weird because it's making me wanna cry right now, like, because this is such a close question for me that it's very, not difficult to answer, but so emotionally driven that I am not getting angry, but I'm getting like whatever that feeling is, choked up. All right, guys, so now that you heard a little bit of the story of how I used to, this is what I use presently to manage my emotions, especially anger, because there's time and places where I get to the point of breaking. And sometimes, because I'm very, well, I will say willful, which means I'm stubborn, I don't want to do the easy stuff while it's still pretty low. Like, you know when you're getting angry, like it's building and you can feel it, but you don't want to do anything about it. You just want to sit with it, right? You just want to let it sit, and then when it's sitting, it's just more fire, and then someone calls you and you don't want to talk to them, and someone sends you a text that doesn't feel good, and then it's a bigger fire, and then you stub your toe, then it's a bigger fire, then you have diarrhea, then it's the biggest fire. And now you're super angry and you don't know what to do. So what I try to do is make sure I meet it somewhere in the middle. I try to meet it in the middle. In therapy, you kind of have this thing called a distress tolerance or a SUD score. It looks like a thermometer. Best way to describe it. 100 is the highest point you can. 0 is you going to sleep or taking a nap, all right? And as your levels get higher, the less you're gonna be able to control it, right? And the more intense the feelings are going to be. So as you're starting to feel it, this is where, like, if you're like midway through, is where you want to do like meditation, taking a walk, maybe going for a nice light jog, something to kind of get your mind off it, listening to music if you're an active person that way, or people like to bake or cook or do something where your mind gets away from the anger and stops thinking about it. Or at least you have some way of using that energy. Now, when it starts getting really tough to deal with, I use this no matter what, whether it's light or big, and I'm gonna read it to you because it's not from me, okay? This is called distress tolerance. Distress tolerance skills do not solve the problem. It's important to use other skills once intensity has lowered and to a more manageable point. Remember to respect your body's limits when practicing all of these, which means this is a pretty intense piece, right? And like I said, I use this when I get really pissed off or really fucking angry, and I'll use this to let my levels get down lower. When I get down to that lower level, then I'll start doing other lighter things I talked about, like taking a walk, a light jog, watching a movie. Whatever it is, okay? Whatever is gonna work for me that day. But it's called TIPP, T-I-P-P, okay? I'm gonna read, like I said, it's from a DBT manual. TIPP, temperature, intense exercise, progressive muscle relaxation, and then paced breathing. What does that all stand for and what does it look like? Temperature, number 1, you're hot. Go get something super cold, an ice pack, a bag of ice, a hot dog package. Put it on your neck. I said it because that's what I did Saturday. Put it on your neck, put it on your wrists, put it somewhere where there's a lot of blood flow, right? The pressure points, or whatever they call it. I jump in a pool. I jump in an ice bath to bring my temperature down. Number 2, intense exercise. It doesn't mean you have to go get a membership at a gym and start doing, bench press. I'm talking in the room, 35 burpees till you can't breathe anymore. Something super intense. For you, my intensity is 1 million burpees. Your intensity might be 1. So find something that you can do at that point for intense exercise. Another thing I like to do is hit a punching bag. I'll put gloves on or 2 pillows and I'll punch a punching bag as hard as I can or as fast as I can mainly, and just release that energy. Short period of time, nothing super crazy where I'm breaking my wrists or my hands, but at least I'm getting the energy out and I'm starting to feel tired. Okay, do you understand that part? So intense exercise. 2 things I do: burpees, mountain climbers, or boxing. Sometimes if I have nothing to do, I just pound the pillow. That didn't sound good. I beat the shit out of my pillow and get the energy out. After the exercise, you're gonna want progressive muscle relaxation to go to pretty much squeeze your muscles and then relax. So for me, I like to take the sandbag, the dummy, the pillows, and I'll squeeze the shit. See, it's wrestling, gable grip, and I'm gonna squeeze the shit out of that pillow. Squeeze it, and then relax. And then squeeze it again, and then relax until I can't do it anymore. Okay, and that's when I collapse and I'm tired. And that's paced breathing. Now I'm gonna lay down on the floor. I'm breathing heavy. My muscles are fatigued to the most point. And now I'm breathing as heavy as I can, but trying to control my breath until all those emotions that kind of like you feel in your ears and the back of your neck go away. Sometimes it's a multiple use process. Sometimes it happens in one hit. You're gonna know when you're done. It's almost when you're just gonna feel like quitting and you're like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm super tired because I don't want to do this. So pretty much for anger, that's what I do to try to control that really intense emotion. But here's what's gonna happen. It's not gonna go away because whatever it is you're thinking of is still in your mind. So you have probably a higher percentage chance that it's going to ruminate again and again and again. So what's my third thing? My third and final thing that I think is the hardest one to do, it's called confrontation. It's called being realistic. So there's something bothering you, whether it's a conversation that you don't want to do or something that you don't want to do. Usually it's a clash. Us addressing the situation is probably the best thing that you can do to make sure the anger doesn't trigger again. This may take work, this may take balls, this may take something for you that's gonna be very uncomfortable for you. Case in point, this past Saturday, I built up this emotion for the past 2 weeks living here. I couldn't do it anymore. I felt like worthless, like I'm not doing anything anymore. I'm not contributing to the family. I'm stuck here all day. I feel like I'm in quarantine, except you're allowed outside, but I got no friends and no social support, so everything started getting overwhelming for me. And then I started blaming people. I started blaming my wife for everything in my head. And then it just started building more and more and more and more and more to the point where I was just getting angry and I lost myself. And I did tip, and I did it 3 times, and then I went to sleep. But the next morning, it still was in the back of my head and it still kept riding. I had to have the conversation. You know, I had to talk to her and I had to ask her, like, what does she feel? And I had to express how I felt. And that's the one thing that we do not do. We're really good at the first 2 things. But what we're really bad at is the confrontation. Or not even confrontation, but the fear of talking to someone about something true and honest, because you don't want to hurt their feelings. But for you to be happy and for you to get rid of your anger, you have to learn to confront situations that may not be the most comfortable for you. For your soul and your heart and your energy, you know it's the best conversation you need to make. And a lot of people are angry because they can't quit their job. A lot of people are angry because they never reach their goal. A lot of people are angry because they feel like someone's holding them back. So I want you guys to make sure that you guys understand number 3 is the most important thing. It's gonna take time. Not something that you can do like tip. Tip I could do fucking 2 seconds. That's easy. I'm good at energy. I'm good at beating myself up. I'm good at, you know, that. I'm good at it. What's really difficult is sitting down next to someone, have a logical conversation to express your emotions, to talk about it, to talk about the situation open-heartedly, without any remorse, without any, I don't know the word, remorse. You gotta be able to talk to the person. You have to be able to talk to the person without the feeling that they're stabbing you in the back or they're talking shit about you, because they're most likely not. And I'm sure the person that's bothering you is someone that you love and care for, and that's why you don't want to have that conversation, or it does make you angry in that way. So before this video gets super long, those are the 3 things that I do. The first one is the things that you're not supposed to do, right? So instead of doing that, maybe before it starts getting super crazy, go for a light walk, put on your favorite playlist, do something else that's a little bit more active, get out of the house, get out of the routine that you're in, and just do something else to try to let that anger go away. If not, number 2, hit that tip, just a tip, TIPP, temperature increase, intense exercise, progressive muscle relaxation, and then paced breathing, okay? So the main thing is get cold, beat the shit out of something, not a person, right? Beat the shit out of something, squeeze the shit out of something, and then lay down on the floor and breathe. I think that's how I should explain it from here on out. Cold, ice, punch till death, squeeze till can't breathe, lay down till you're breathing. And then finally, do the hard thing, have the conversation. Talk openly about what it is that's bothering you, because nothing, or the first 2 aren't gonna do anything for you until you learn how to really master that last one, and that's communication. Communication is key. Might sound like it's stupid, but it's not. It's 100% the best thing you can do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for coming out. If you guys haven't visited my Patreon, make sure you guys visit my Patreon at patreon.com/JerseyToVegas. Support the channel to make sure we get more podcasts, more videos, more everything that we do here. And I do appreciate everything you guys have done for me the past couple years, and I hope to keep delivering whatever content makes you guys keep watching. If you guys have any comments, put it down below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. This is Pete from JerseyToVegas.com. I'll see you guys.
Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. skin clear. This here my year. Hey, look up here. This here my tier. Same fit for
How on
days.
earth? How is this? How? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?